Master Song, you are. Xiaoya squeezed her ruddy Zhu lips lightly and looked at Zhuo Fan. Although she knew exactly what he was going to do, it was not easy to speak directly. After all, after the first 3 rounds of competing, Zhuo Fan has changed from an unknown dude into a recognized master of alchemy here, always giving him a face. However, even if you are the first alchemist in the world, you must observe the rules at this 100 alchemy event, and you can't openly violate the rules. Looking at Zhuo Fan very embarrassedly, Xiaoya felt that in the face of this wonderful master, she was neither moving nor moving. The movement in the hand stopped a little. Zhuo Fan turned his head to look at Xiaoya, and raised a brow. Don't you say that these herbs are for us? What's wrong, Master Song? I think you must have not heard what I said, and there was a little misunderstanding. Xiaoya hurriedly smiled and explained. I just said that these medicinal herbs are to make up for the lack of medicinal herbs that the masters have at hand. Yeah, I'm all short however. Before Xiaoya's words were finished, Zhuo Fan had already forcibly interrupted, and then continued to put a cup of medicine into the ring. Seeing this scene, everyone present was stupid. So good. The previous alchemy masters were even more tempted at this time, and they should have just gotten some more. Judgment. If Master Song works like this, can the old man go again? Lu Yizhan licked his dry lips, gave Zhuo Fan an anxious look, and then looked at Xiaoya Road. If he didn't hurry, the kid would take all the medicine. Although he is an alchemist of a first-class family, but when it comes to the quantity and quality of medicinal materials in his hands, it is really not much. Xiaoya glared at him fiercely and said angrily, Master Lu, you don't have to mess up anymore. Are you able to finish these herbs? The body just about to rush forward couldn't help but stagnate. Lu Yizhan smiled, but shook his head helplessly and shrank back. With so many medicinal materials, who can finish it all at once? The most important thing is that he can't afford to offend Huailao. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you take more. Thinking of this, Lu Yizhan looked admiringly on the stage like Zhuo Fan, who moved the medicinal herbs into the ring like a moving house. I really don't know which ancestry this young man is, or the son of a big family, where he looks like a boy of the third-rate family. Otherwise, it is impossible to rob the Yuyu building so blatantly. Master Song, you have to think about it. All the medicinal materials you take must be refined on the spot. Otherwise, the consequences will be very serious this time. Xiaoya was really angry and his tone became tough. The action of taking the medicine was stagnation. Zhuo Fan looked at these herbs and smiled secretly. These medicinal materials range from 1st grade to 8th grade, so how can they be refined on the spot? To finish, at least tens of thousands of panacea. But what about that? After this Dan Wang final, he won the championship, after getting the Bodhi ficus route, patted the and left. Where can this Huayu Tower manage him? So for him, there are really as many babies in front of him as he has to take. Anyway, I'll tear my face in a while, and don't take it for nothing. Turning his head slowly, Zhuo Fan grinned lightly and said, how do you know that I won't finish them? In a while, I will finish them all. As soon as the words fell, Zhuo Fan continued to plunder the medicinal herbs on the stage without any shame or shyness. Seeing this scene, Xiaoya was almost crying. She has never seen such a master without skin and face since she grew up. How could it be possible to refine tens of thousands of immortals on the spot? Is this clearly a grab? Everyone off the field looked at the biggest dark horse that came out of the field, the alchemy master who overshadowed the hallowed poisonous drug king, and poured the medicinal herbs on the stage. This master is so kind of dared to take advantage of Huailau's. But even so, Huailao really does not make any difference to him now. Who told Huailao to let them choose herbs freely? People can make 10,000 pill without biting. What can you do? Although this is not possible, you can only settle accounts after the autumn. Now, Zhuo Fan should still take it, no one can control him. Xiaoya and a group of people can only suffer a face, waiting for Zhuo Fan to put the countless precious medicinal materials into the ring. Suddenly, Zhuo Fan stopped. At first sight, Xiaoya couldn't help but step forward and smiled. Master Song, are you ready? Then hurry back to the seat and start competing for Dan. Everyone has been waiting for you. Brows wrinkled, Zhuo Fan turned to look at Xiaoya, and shook the ring in front of her. My storage ring is full, can you give me another storage ring? Helplessly. Xiaoya almost fell. The rest of the people also chewed their cheeks. This Master Song is so shameless. No, we don't provide storage rings at Huayu building, Xiaoya almost roared. Her lungs exploded with anger. Glancing at her lightly, Zhuo Fan whispered helplessly and chuckled softly. I still have the seventh family. Stingy. With a grunt, Xiaoya almost spurted no effort, but fortunately came to her throat and swallowed it back again. A pair of big watery eyes, staring fiercely at Zhuo Fan, who returned home. Xiaoya really wished to pounce on him. You take up such a big bargain for us, and say we are stingy. Is there such a shameless person in the world? After a quick look at the display stand, Zhuo Fan installed 80% or 90% of the empty cabinets of medicinal materials, and the rest was nothing more than 1 or 2 grades of medicinal materials. Xiaoya burst into tears. This is the amount of medicinal herbs they have collected in the past year. Many of these rare herbs can only be obtained in the past 100 years. This time, all his mother was swept away by this kid. Originally, they only took out these medicinal materials in the final of Danwang, but they wanted to show everyone their strength of Huaiyulao. But I didn't expect that when I met such a master. I evacuated it directly. Boy, you wait for the old lady. Can't make 10,000 pill in a while, see how the old lady can clean you up. Xiaoya stared at Zhuo Fan fiercely, but her heart was bleeding. The previous good impression of Zhuo Fan's near worship also completely disappeared at this moment. This kid is a rogue. But Zhuo Fan didn't care about it. He touched his nose and returned to the first alchemy platform again. What kind of thing is reputation? The most important thing is to get the benefits, he. On the landlord's stage, Zi Xianyang looked at everything below, and was a little curious, and turned to Long Jiudeo Elder 9, I heard that your Qianlong Pavilion and the kid are regarded as an alliance. All the herbs in his hands are provided by you. How do I look like he is so poor? Even when I see a medicinal herb, my eyes are shining. Ha, the greedy man. Even if he sees a needle on the ground, his eyes will shine. Long Kui couldn't help but whispered. Zi Xianyang couldn't help but raised his eyebrows and thought for a while. It really was. In the character of this kid, there is nothing to grow wherever he passes. Long Jiu thought for a while, but for the first time agreed with Long Kui's evaluation of Zhuo Fan. He nodded and said, actually Zhao Kui's saying is not unreasonable, this kid is really greedy. Our Qianlong Pavilion is an ally with him. But it is also impossible to give him the top-level medicinal herbs in the family, most of which are below the 4th grade. However, when our deacon sent the medicinal herbs to him, he did not know what method he used, actually letting that deacon. A large number of 5th grade medicinal herbs were shipped from the family. After that, we question this old deacon who has contributed to the family for many years. But he would rather bear the guilt of smuggling medicinal materials by himself, and he would not confess half a word. Ha ha ha. This kid really has a set for people. Long Jiu Fuxu chuckled and shook his head. But there was another deep dignity in his eyes. Zi Xianyang was shocked again and murmured a bay. This kid not only shot at the enemy, but also shot at himself. I know this. However, he still has the ability to dig you Qianlong instantly. The corner of the pavilion. I can't say that. The old deacon is still doing things for the family. But I don't know why I was so crazy and helped the boy unconsciously. Zi Xianyang and Jian Sufeng glanced at each other. But both were lost in contemplation. They now have a new understanding of Zhuofan's ability. It seems that after coming into contact with the kid, you must find someone who is 100% sincere to the family. Otherwise, the guy was dug into the corner and it was really troublesome. The two landlords, Peony and Blue and White, did not care about the topic they were discussing at this time, but stared closely at the empty cabinet below, and the blood in their hearts was almost dripping. The son-in-law of Huayulao, who had suffered 1,000 knives, was really kind to take the things from his family. He didn't give anything at all, and all his good things were taken away by his mother. In Chu Qingcheng's two beautiful double pupils, there was even a trace of murderousness. Boy, aren't you all mine? What's the use of taking so much? Sooner or later I will return. On the display platform, Xiaoya took a deep breath of 4 or 5 times before barely suppressing the anger in her heart. Zhuofan slammed it fiercely, and then scanned the 10 alchemy masters present, and then shouted, since the 10 masters are ready, then the finals of the King of Dan will start. As soon as the voice fell, the fire of Yunyuan's strength immediately ignited in the front row. Zhuofan stood in the first place, still unmoved. Xiaoya looked at Zhuofan and grinned sneeredly. Master Song, remember, you have to finish all the herbs you have obtained. With a slight hum, Zhuofan scorned his mouth in disdain. Stupid, I wouldn't do that stupid thing. When Lao Tzu won the crown of Dan Wang and returned his favor, he immediately slipped away. How can you bear me? Boom. Suddenly, a roar that resembled a beast in a mountain forest resounded throughout the audience. And a blaze of blood-red flames suddenly rose into the sky. And at the moment when this strange flame appeared, the fire of Yuanli in the hands of several other alchemy masters immediately subsided. His eyes narrowed slightly. Zhuofan sneered under his heart. These old guys finally have to show their true strength.